Hi Taurus, welcome to your week ahead Taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. So, I know I said that there were a lot of changes coming to the Reydiant Nation, and I promise you there's just a lot going on behind the scenes right now. So please bear with me. You will be seeing new forms of content and all of that good stuff, but at the moment I've got some other stuff that needs to be taken care of, and I will be letting you guys know all about it when the time comes. So thank you so much for your patience. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards, just in case, I had someone say to me, like, I feel like you're just doing the bare minimum, right? You stop doing the monthlies, you start da. And yes, that's kind of true at the moment, but I promise there's a reason. All right, before we start, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help us all, or you on your path to your highest vibrational good. I'm not a Taurus or a Taurus rising or Taurus moon. I could never be that awesome, darling. All right, for your key to the week this week, you have... Ooh, the Devil card. Okay, so this week, overindulgence is going to be a thing, and that doesn't necessarily always mean that you're eating too much or drinking too much. Sometimes the overindulgence that we do or that we go through is literally us holding to one way of doing things. I've noticed this with the Devil card, right? A lot of the time, yes, it can talk about addictions and patterns and habits, and we're going to talk about that in a moment. But it can very often show up when people are just so hell-bent on doing something a certain way that they refuse to see that there's any other way to do something. That is you being addicted to your viewpoint or being addicted to being right. Get out of your own way. Be teachable. Be changeable. Yes, I realize I'm talking to a literal fixed earth sign, right? But there are times when we truly want, and this is bearing in mind my chart, like if you see it, it's basically... No, not basically. Like, my chart is basically cardinal and fixed energy. There's no mutable. I get my mutable energy from everyone else. Usually my friends, my chosen family, that are like, listen, you need to calm the fuck down, right? And I'm very fortunate in that way. I have really good friends and I have really good chosen family and wonderful work-based colleagues who... are able to kind of talk to me in that way, because cardinal energy is just all on, and fixed energy as well. It was working before, so I'm just going to keep doing it. Like, the fixed signs have an ability to flog a dead horse until that thing is fucking got flies buzzing around it and all sorts, right? So sometimes this rigidity comes from within, right? When they say that the call is coming from within the house, darling. For your actions and options, you've got the Six of Cups, right? So, and it's not to say that you're always wrong. 9 times out of 10, you're actually right. But at the same time, this week, the Devil card is saying, be careful of being too rigid. Be careful of overindulging on, no, it has to be this way. Or maybe just being busy for the sake of being busy, right? You've got the Six of Cups as your actions and options. This is something from the past that you seem to be convinced is no, this is working. This is absolutely working. This is the only way that it can be. It can also be an old thought process or an old pattern or an old emotion, right? An old emotional state that you just refuse to budge from. We've all been there, right? But sometimes you have to just let it go, all right? Now, when it comes to the options that are available to you, interestingly enough, the Six of Cups is a siblings card. So if you've got siblings, a sibling could help you out. If you don't have any siblings, sister from another mister, brother from another mother, those kinds of people can be really beneficial for you this week because they snap you out of it, right? Snap out of it. If you know, then you know. For your... the other thing to mention as well, the Devil card is number 15. 1 and 5 gives you 6. You've got the Six of Cups. 2 sixes represents balance or irritability. You're only going to make this irritability if you refuse to budge from your viewpoint. Look at this, right? You got the 10 of Pentacles in your communications and conversation sphere, right? Which means that the level, or should I say the quality of communication this week is solid. And some of it may be to tell you to get out of your own way, right? Just the way of the world at times. Now, the other thing with this is, for those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, this is a financial support that could be really beneficial for you. But you've got this devil card, which means potentially that there's some sort of level of pride, maybe arrogance, or potentially even materialism that kind of gets in your way. It's maybe you say to yourself like, no darling, I can't have second-hand books, I need the brand new ones that are like 60% more expensive. You know, when you're a student, you got to budget a bit better. So think about that. For those of you that are employed by somebody else, it's like you can see the end goal, but there's a part of you that doesn't like the way that it's shaping up. And with that Six of Cups, this might be a recurring conversation that you're having with the boss or some kind of superior, where you're almost like saying, you know, it's like you're kind of trying to hammer home the idea that you need more money or you need to get a raise or whatever. And rather than, you know, it's like you're looking at that and saying, well, this is the only way to get it. Well, maybe have you thought about changing your job? Going where you are celebrated or where the money is going to reflect the value that you bring to the work, right? It's like, rather than banging your head against a brick wall when your boss is clearly, you know, saying to you, look, there's no extra money here or there's no furthering of a position, maybe then you start looking further afield for where you will get those things, all right? For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, financially, this could be a very good week for you, right? But it looks like you are somewhat run ragged. And I think a big part of that is because you're refusing to hand things over. Even if you are, like myself, a one-man band, excuse me, you have to learn to delegate, right? You've got to learn to hand some of it over. This has been a really hard lesson for me to learn over the last couple of years. Slowly but surely, I've given little things away, you know, for people to help me with. Oh my God, brain fart. Sorry, that one real start. Okay. So yeah, like delegate, right? Be okay with handing it over. And the thing about the Ten of Pentacles, aside from money and resources and a house and a dwelling and stuff, this is a legacy card. It's a family card. And so what this means is, you know, what is a family? They're people that help each other. So being okay with handing stuff over is really how you're going to succeed this week. When it comes to those of you that are retired and no longer working, again, this will be within the familial sphere, all right? Like you may be called into something and maybe, you know, maybe deep down you're somewhat addicted to that drama because it keeps life exciting, or, you know, you like to feel needed, or whatever the case might be. You have to really examine that this week to ask yourself if this is, you know, really what you should be looking at and how you could be spending your time. For your love and relations, you've got the Seven of Swords. Watch out this week. For those of you that are single, or for those of you that are, for those of you that are newly seeing somebody, you're not getting the full story, all right? I'm just going to tell you straight up. And the thing is, I think you already know this, or at least you have suspected. And so, you know, for an easy life, or for the sake of keeping things as they are, I think you have somewhat towed the line. This week, I think you're going to realise that maybe this person isn't who you thought they were. It's not a catfish situation, because you watch Radiant Reality and we're not out here in 2024 getting catfished, right? There's, you know, maybe this is that this person has a past, and the truth of the matter is we all do, right? Like maybe there's something that you realize about them where you're like, oh, okay, well, you know, I know we've all got a past, but I didn't expect yours to be that. So there's that aspect of it. On the other side of it, I will say watch out for sharing resources at this moment in time. For those of you that are partnered, married, or in a long-term commitment of some sort, that, because the Seven of Swords, it's not an easy card, right? It's lies, it's deceit. Now, you've got this with the Six of Cups, which tells me that this is something from before, right? It's not like I don't know whether this makes it any better, but it's not like a new lie. It's one that's already come up before. Maybe you had an inkling, but you never really hashed it out properly. And then with the devil card, I'm laughing because I saw a meme the other day that really made me laugh that I feel like applies to this situation. Now, before I get into what I'm about to say, I do not now, no judgment, right? If you listen, in my line of work, Henny, I can tell you I've seen everything go through these cards, okay? I mean, not this particular deck because it's quite a new one. It was a gift from one of my students, but I have seen everything go through these cards, right? Hear me when I tell you. And there's never any judgment about it. I'm just talking about, for me personally, cheating is one of the cardinal sins in the relationship. If you tell me, Raf, you know what? I want to open things up because I feel like I want to see other people. I can make an informed decision for myself. But when you cheat on me, you rob me of that decision. That's not okay. All right? Now, that being said, the meme was Beyonce is worth this much, Jay-Z is worth this much, and she forgave him after, you know, the whole Becky with the long hair thing. And then it says underneath, but you with just one bra, 6 panties, and 1 pair of black leggings just won't let it go. And I've got to say, it did make me laugh, right? Because it's very funny, right? It's ridiculous, but it's funny. If you are unable to forgive this, you need to have the conversation in order to remove how you feel about it, right? In order to get past it. Because at the moment, it's getting in the way of your relationship. For your money and materials, you've got the Chariot. Look, the money is good, right? This week, the money is good. The resources are good. Watch out for the overspend, because it does look like that is a thing, right? Sorry, I have to do that because it's, yeah, there we go. All right, so watch out for overspending, watch out for emotional spending, and also this week, if there is an offer on the table that you feel like could be very helpful for you in your work or in your home life, before you press buy or before you just chuck money straight at it, do shop around, because it looks like you might miss a deal because you're like, no, I just want this done, right? Don't do that, okay? When it comes to your physical health and vitality, there's some overindulgence here. I'm just going to call it out, whether this is you're drinking too much or eating too much. I wanted to say it could be more than that, but with this and the Chariot, yeah, you could be taking it a little bit too far. All right, and just look, you're going to get discomfort. When it comes to those of you, when it comes to your home and environment, it looks like a lot of you are either on the road or you are so busy this week that it doesn't really feel like you're spending a lot of time at home, all right? But there's a lot going on here. All in all, it's an interesting week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Take care, and I'll see you soon.